Come on now. What's up with it, y'all? Yeah, my bad. Give me a quick second. Trying to fix this video. But I hope everybody having a cool day today. I woke up and I was seeing this and I said I had to come do a quick video on this because I was like, golly, again, Trump shot at again? What's going on? Like this is wilder than wild. But what's even crazier is the guy that that they actually caught. Like I was seeing a couple of reports to where first they were saying that they offed him, and then then I seen that they caught him. But I mean, I guess he didn't even make it in there. He didn't make it inside. But all in all, he still came up ready to do some damage. This dude, his name is Cole Thomas Allen, and I couldn't find anything on his background or anything like that. But what's good with it, man? What's good with it? Yeah, like I said, I was tripping off this Trump shooting. I said, man, I have to come and see. Let's look at a couple of things and see what they talking about because this the second time, and I wonder who dude was aiming for. Was he aiming for Trump or what was it? But I guess we'll find out. We only can find out by searching and looking into it. So let's go on and get started. These the people, Sky News are the ones that you'll see their name up here, that whose video we watching. So thanks for joining. Here we go.
These were the seconds before the shot. A president at Washington's event of the year is being shown a trick by the evening's entertainer. Then there's gunfire.
Seems like about 5
On the top
shots.
table, it goes unnoticed at first, until security agents storm the stage and evacuate the president.
She seen it. She heard it.
Inside the ballroom, guests attending the Washington Correspondents Association dinner take cover as armed officers take aim from the stage. There's confusion as they look for the shooter.
Y'all not low enough.
Senior members of government.
That's crazy. Y'all is not low enough. What you trying to look for the shooter for? You get up under one of them tables.
Are taken to safety at speed.
Where? Ollie right. Still no? Still no?
The shooting had taken place outside the room.
Where?
Look, they still trying to take pictures.
This was the suspect being held on the ground. He is 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen from California. Donald Trump posted this picture of his arrest, and he posted video of when the suspect ran towards the ballroom, armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and several knives. One officer was shot, but was saved by a bulletproof vest. The suspect wasn't hit by gunfire.
Then how'd y'all catch him?
I came over to the door and I smelled gunfire after the shots were fired. And we were told to shut the door and nobody in. And now Secret Service are right outside the door.
Yeah. Because it was one.
Guests remained inside the ballroom amidst tight security. In here, it was so tense. Ultimately, it was so Trump.
The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke.
Wow.
Donald Trump headed back to the White House for a late-night news conference. He delivered his version of events.
I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise." And we were whisked away.
The suspect had been staying as a guest at the venue, the Washington Hilton. Outside of this hotel, former President Ronald Reagan survived an assassination attempt in 1981.
Look,
that's crazy.
I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble.
Well, here we are inside the ballroom. It's about 30 minutes after the shooting took place, and people are drifting away. The night is over. It began innocently enough, routinely. There's the stage. That's where the president was sat, eating his dinner. He had been applauded into the room. The national anthem had been played. People stood for that and then sat down to dinner. Trump was...
That's crazy. We'll go to the next one.
France is facing
from every angle. This is how the shooting at the Correspondents Dinner.
That was J.D. Vance.
Just after 8:30, this was the scene set for the annual dinner. 2,500 in the room. In the lobby at the security checks, a man runs through the metal detectors.
Damn.
Shots are heard. It takes a moment for people in the room to react. The First Lady seems to be the first at the top table to realize what happened, she says. Look at this angle, 8:35. J.D. Vance, the vice president, in the foreground. Then President Trump rushed out next.
I thought they were supposed to cover Trump.
Chaos.
What appears to be shots fired at the White House Correspondents Dinner. It's just gone. 20 to 9.
You said who got shot? Yeah, under the table. See all them looking over you, crazy.
Making their way through to the center of the area now.
The nation's top politicians rushed away.
Are you okay, sir? Were you hurt?
They'd been seated as guests at various different tables.
We're all being told to stay in the ballroom at the moment. You can see just how many people are here. An extraordinary moment. The annual White House Correspondents Dinner brought to a very, very frightening halt.
Just outside the ballroom where the shots had been fired, a suspect on the ground.
So it was just one suspect.
The president, by now secure and back on his social media, posting these two images of Cole Thomas Allen, a 31-year-old from California.
Law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises.
Wow. That's why.
Consistent with protocol. And
he said, what's up, True?
He
much love,
wanted
bro.
to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe.
We've all been ushered out of the Washington Hilton now, and the president has announced that he will do a news conference at the White House in half an hour's time. So I'm going to head there now.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job.
Well, that was a memorable news conference for sure, not only because it happened so quickly after the shooting, the president being ushered out, whisked out of the ballroom, driven from the Hilton back here to the White House, and then pretty much straight into the press room to deliver that news conference. But look at who was around him as well. His wife, the First Lady, was there. The vice president flanked him as well, and so many other senior members of the cabinet. Really unusual, remarkable. But I think more broadly, you know, just to reflect on what the president is describing as another assassination.
I was watching that video on Kash Patel. I said, the new Lego video they dropped, and they was talking about Kash Patel eyes. I said, what, they cold. I said, they cold for that, because he do look like his eyes is going two different ways.
Against him, one that this time so many of us witnessed.
The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, reportedly lives at this home here behind me. It's been pretty quiet now, but it's fairly recent because up to about 6 o'clock this morning, we were still seeing FBI agents coming in and out of this home. So it was a very active investigation. Take a look. This video appears to show the moment that FBI agents descended upon this neighborhood here in Torrance on Gramercy Avenue here. You can see the massive law enforcement presence, and that included FBI agents in tactical gear and armored vehicles. At one point, Air 7 video appears to show federal agents speaking with people who live at that home. Later, it appeared spotlights were focused on a second-story window and the front door. Agents finally made entry shortly before midnight. Here's what we're just learning about the suspect. 31-year-old Cole Allen graduated from Caltech in 2017 and from California State University Dominguez Hills in 2025. That's according to representatives for both schools. According to a LinkedIn page connected to the suspect, Allen is a trained mechanical engineer who now works as a tutor. His current employer, C2 Education, named Allen Teacher of the Month just last year. Now, Allen is in custody and is believed to have acted alone. We've also learned 2 firearms and multiple knives were recovered. Allen is being held at the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department's 3rd District after being released from the hospital overnight. We know he's expected to make his first appearance in court tomorrow. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, reportedly lives at this home here behind me.
It's wild because they basically saying that the family warned about him doing something. I'm gonna try to find that.
I was performing right then for the president, the press secretary, and the first lady. It's kind of like a pivotal moment in the trick where you're just about to do the reveal of like, wow. And we hear commotion. I see everyone swarming one table. I didn't hear any shots or see what looked like a shooter. I thought there was about to be a bomb. Like I really very much thought, oh my God, it's about to explode. Because of the way that it was being approached, it was incredibly surreal. I kind of get down on all fours facing left, stage left. They rush across to get POTUS, and the president gets like taken down by Secret Service, and we don't know what's going on. And he came down. You can look at the video, I don't know the distance, but less than a foot away from me. I'll never forget the image for my whole life because I'm on all fours, turned like this. They bring the president down directly in front of me, and we just look at each other for about 2 seconds. And my mind, obviously, this is like a huge adrenaline, just like, oh no, are we about to die? Because I thought it was about to explode. I thought that was really my instinct. Then I heard what sounded like I thought were shots. I'm
surprised
so at that point, my mind shifted.
Shoot him, though.
I also wasn't sure if he was hurt. They pick him up kind of, and they go out, and then we're on all fours. And I see Courtney, and I see 1 or 2 of the other people that are at the dais, and we're like, are they shooting? Like, we don't know what's going on. So I don't want to get up. So we army crawl. She went first, and then the rest of us army crawl out because we didn't want to stand up because I don't want to get hit. I thought there might be somebody still shooting.
Man, you didn't drop fast enough. That's what I feel like. But dude, they said he was a part of the Wide Awakes, a group called the Wide Awakes, and attached to attended the No Kings protest in California. According to federal campaign fiance records, Allen donated $25 to the Democratic Party PAC Act Blue for Kamala Harris presidential campaign in 2024. What did that got to do with anything? Tam Allen's driver's license photo, which was taken in October 24, federal and local authorities were seen late Saturday night at the suspect's home in Torrance at about 10:30 Pacific time. Aerial video of the CBS News Los Angeles showed federal agents entering the home. They saying, what are you going to be charged with? Allen will be charged with one of each: using the firearm during the crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. U.S. Attorney for D.C. Janine Pirro announced Saturday night, Pirro said she expects him to face more charges as the investigation unfolds. They're going to try to charge him for every person that was in that hall. Watch what I tell you. That's going to be a attempt on everybody's life that was there, because anybody could have got popped. I guarantee you that's what they're going to do.
He was just a pretty normal guy. He was a smart guy. Excuse me. You know, I don't know, he was a little quirky, but it's nothing that, you know, you definitely would not expect him to, I guess, you know, do the thing he did tonight. But yeah, he seemed like a very ordinary person, you know.
Bro, has never met this guy.
I don't know. You never expect it coming from this guy.
Is it? Man, the news be weird, man. The news be way weird sometimes when they just be talking about this stuff. Yeah, attempted. That's for every person that was in that room.
Agree that so much that happens with this White House administration is scripted, whether it seems like it or not. I mean, this White House Correspondents Dinner where shots were fired, you see Cash Patel crouching down like a roach behind the table. Then Catherine Levitt had the Freudian slip where she was like, oh, shots will be fired. Then you got Erica Kirk putting on the tears, saying, I just want to go home. I just want to leave. So distraught. This storyline sucks. Their writers suck. They need to go to Hollywood and get some real writers. And then on top of that, them people in that room did not sell none of that. Because who's buying that at all? Show me a suspect. Show me the real suspect if it was real. And honest to God, I feel like Donald Trump just want to be JFK so bad. I'm going to talk about that in another video. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about this. Don't forget to tell me in the comments so we can talk about it together.
It do look kind of slow, like in a sense, but when it's so loud in there and you hear gunshots, well, I mean, us, you know, we would have been getting down. We either getting down or we getting up out of there. But at the same time, some people not used to just getting low on when they hear gunshots. They don't even know what it is. So I don't know. If they stage and stuff like this, I'm going, that would be the wildest thing right now. If this was staged, that would be the wildest. That would be so wild. It's like, damn, they taking it to that length?
So yeah, there was a shooting at the White House Correspondents Dinner last night. A room full of politicians, media, and Washington insiders. The shooter was apparently targeting Felon 47 and his administration. But here's the thing. The majority of Americans don't give a shit. This country has been dealing with shootings for years. Schools, grocery stores, synagogues, churches, concerts, malls, places people are just trying to live their lives. And every time it's the same bullshit. Breaking news, public statements, thoughts and prayers, then nothing. So when it happens to a high-profile invite-only event in Washington, we're looking at our gas prices and saying, okay, next. Welcome to the reality everyday Americans live through. This is the same violence the rest of the country has been expected to live through for years. I go to church every Sunday and look for escape routes in case a shooter comes in and doesn't get me first. How crazy is that? Wow. The only difference now, it's happening to people with real power and money. That's why the reaction from people isn't shock. It's they don't give a shit. It's people looking at this and thinking, this is what communities have been dealing with over and over without real change. Maybe now that it reached Washington elites, they'll care. Because historically, attention only happens when these things happen to people with power and money. And maybe that's what it takes, but I doubt it. And then there's something else. Online reaction has been telling. You've got coordinated posts circulating afterwards, like the ones floating around maggot-aligned accounts, pushing the idea that this moment is somehow tied to the White House ballroom narrative, framing it through politics immediately. And because of that, you also see people online saying that it was staged. That's where the public trust is right now. But if we're being honest, the only thing the world really cares about is, you know, We are all waiting for that day, the day we all pop open the champagne to celebrate. And that's the read. If you like your tea hot, share it, save your seat, and follow for more. This is the Notorious JTB.
I hope it ain't around the whole thing that he want to get done. He want the ballroom done at the White House. It bad not. That would be so foul, bro.
You mean to tell me they got JD Vance out of there before him? That White House Correspondents Dinner, I want them to stop playing with me. I want them to stop playing with us. How are we getting every angle of this? It is pushed out in the media. I need people to really, I need y'all to calculate 1 + 1. This is a calculation. We're getting angles of this. And what's even more funnier, because see, I pay attention to detail to set you apart from those great people with detail and those who are not detailed. It sets you apart for you great when you pay attention to detail. Okay, I gotta worry about I gotta get to church. But y'all, they didn't release these girls. Ain't go make it because we rolled them up late. They go release each part at separate times. They giving you play by play. When have we ever got play by play with pumes? I feel like I'm being played with. I legit feel as if this is a game. Then we got a close up. We got a close up at the table with the prez, with the principal, and we got a whole close up. And they was getting JD Vance the heck up out of there, but they had the other principal just ducking down. What? Everything about this gave staged. Every single detail. Because remember, we pays attention to the detail. Every detail gave staged. This correspondence dinner is like probably one of the most highly secured events that they ever do. And you talking about somebody in the lobby doing this? Y'all got to make stuff make sense. I just don't like. It's one of the things where somebody who play you and then they know that you know. They know y'all in conversation and you like, I know you played me, but they know that you know that they playing you. Like, that'd be weird. This is what this is giving. But what's more bigger for me to understand is why all these games to the public, to the people. This is about where I'm about to put this on bunch of. Why all these games? Why? I'm so confused by this. Why do we need to see all those details? Y'all, that don't be like when have we ever? Y'all, stuff just, this is irritate my soul. This is really starting to become more weirder. It's already been weird, but it's becoming way more weirder.
It's already been weird.
To a point where at some point we all have to look at the world and just be like, are we really here? At the end of the day gotta end. They got me saying stuff like that. At the end of the day gotta end. Now y'all got me saying weird stuff like that. Everything just weird. GOV people in the White House having more shootings than the hood itself. Y'all ain't thought about that than the hood itself.
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking about that too. I was talking to my cousin about it. I said, man, he getting bust on more than one of these drill rappers. Like, like what the hell is happening right now?
I just released
where's we at in life?
Exposure that's gonna happen with UFOs and aliens and everything else. I don't know what they distracting. Something else with the EP files and all this jazz. I don't know what they got going on, but baby, it's like, pinch me. Are we really here? Is this really a thing? I'm so confused at what really be happening with these people in the upper echelons. They're weird. They live in weirdness. Everything is weird. This how this hair came out. It ain't coming out as because the curls ain't curling, but this is how we about to. That's why I be fluffy.
It's coming out like that shooting you talking
Why
about.
do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well,
Trump.
I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go.
I feel like I kind of felt like that. I said this a while back. Like when you become president, you gotta know about everything. You study all these different things that what a president do, and assassination is gonna be one.
After the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country. And there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
Why do you? I'm telling you, man, the Donald Trump, the first drill president, he's not a drill rapper. He the
So
drill
last
president.
night at the White House Correspondents Dinner at the Washington Hilton, shots was fired. This 31-year-old man showed up at the Correspondents Dinner strapped with knives and guns, and he tried to breach the ballroom and started shooting. Nobody was hurt except for one Secret Service agent. He was rushed to the hospital. They say he should be okay because he had on a vest. You can see in the pictures right there, screenshots, President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, First Lady, all of them getting rushed off stage. Now, they say this guy will be charged. They have him in custody and everything. He will be charged, for this.
I'm still trying to get how they caught him, right? Somebody must have tackled him. Why they would have tackled a man with a gun or anything like that? That could have been the only thing. And why they released that footage of them tackling him, but they got the other footage? That's what I want to see. I want to see how they took him down.
Shooting a Secret Service agent. But I want to bring to y'all attention outside of the shooting right here. Y'all go back to this picture right here. I want everybody to look over here. You see what's going on? You see what this man is doing while the shooting is going on in the lobby? He taking pictures. Now, a lot of people say, man, what crazy person, man, going to be taking pictures while they shooting? You want to know what crazy person? I did my research. This type of person. They get paid $51,000 to $92,000 a year for taking pictures at White House events like this. That's why he doing that. Pow, pow, pow. They're trying to get their money, man. If you didn't know, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Love y'all. Be safe.
That got me too, because even when the Secret Service came through and they start pushing people back, if you notice, that all the cameramen, they was pushing them back and they was still shooting shots. The cameraman was still like this. You like with the arms on them getting pushed back. They was still taking pictures. I was like confused about that.
One of the most surreal details coming from this White House Correspondent Dinner is coming from a first-hand account. As the shooting unfolded, Secret Service rushed in with weapons drawn, guests diving for cover, and top officials being evacuated. New York Times reporter Sean McCreish, who was with the White House press pool, described the scene as total panic. The event was shut down, and in the middle of all that, McCreish reported witnessing a moment involving FBI Director Kash Patel, and it is now getting a ton of attention, including from people like the Midas Touch. So, according to his account, Patel was seen running down the hallway while in a nearby room, his girlfriend was holding hands with some other guy. And this is adding a completely unexpected layer to an already shocking
what?
Because think of the time.
Hell to the no, Kash Patel, say it ain't so. Just say it ain't so. Wait, hold on, man.
In a nearby room, his girlfriend was holding hands with some other guy. And this is adding a completely unexpected layer to an already shocking night. Because think of the timing for this dipshit. A national security incident unfolding in real time. And Kash Patel, director of the FBI, is caught by a reporter ditching his girlfriend and running for his own safety? That sounds about right. Right on brand for this guy. The main story here is still the shooting and whether or not it was real or not. And at least this time, if it is fake, nobody had to die for it. But this little cash nugget is something that people are talking about as they piece together what that night actually looked like. And I'm sure there's video footage.
He said he wanted to take out Trump to the bottom, except for Cash Patel. I was scratching my head. What? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Not that we'll ever get to see it. So if he did run out, it's probably on film. There's also a claim going out there that Erica Kirk saw him hiding under a table. So we'll see what Cash was actually up to. But it's all part of what people are talking about as they piece this stuff together. Because sometimes it's the moments witnesses describe in real time that end up defining how a night like this is remembered. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Follow me.
It's going to be described in many different ways.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight. He is ready to rumble. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight. He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight.
I don't know about that right there. I don't know, because it reminds me of movies, how they set you up for the punchline of a movie and the beginning tell the whole story if you pay attention, and tell the whole story before it even get into the movie. It's like she's setting you up with the punchline. It'll be some shots fired tonight. Trust me.
Will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining.
Shots fired.
The White House shooter, identified by authorities as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California, is now in custody following a harrowing security breach at the Washington Hilton that sent shockwaves through the nation's capital. The annual White House Correspondents Dinner, a staple of the D.C. social calendar, dissolved into chaos Saturday night as Secret Service agents and law enforcement swarmed the banquet hall, forcing President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other top administration officials into an emergency evacuation. Witnesses.
I know that, but it's just weird that they would say it like that. That she would even say it like that, because that's slang. Shots fired.
This described a scene of pure terror, with hundreds of journalists and celebrities ducking under tables as what sounded like 5 to 8 gunshots rang out near a security checkpoint. While one law enforcement official confirmed an officer was struck in their bullet-resistant vest, miraculously, no serious injuries have been reported among the guests or the president. Allen was apprehended at the scene after allegedly attempting to breach the secure perimeter with a firearm. As federal agents and the FBI continue to sweep the venue, the White House shooter.
Wow. They got him, though, but I'm surprised he didn't get shot. Like, that don't make sense. And he shot somebody, but they had on the bulletproof vest.
What happened?
They're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby?
Who was that?
We didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter. And now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet. But obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened and they rushed the entire administration off stage. At the beginning of the dinner, everyone's just kind of seated having their meal. And within moments, armed Secret Service is running in with massive guns, maybe dozens, and a silence just went over the room as they ran in. Everyone ducked, got on the floor, people were underneath tables. No one knew what was going on. And for a second, the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked, he was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the hallway.
You like, I know they wasn't shooting at me.
Gunshots fired at the White House Correspondents Dinner.
Gunshots at a high-profile political event. Panic breaks out instantly. Attendees dive for cover as Secret Service agents rush in and evacuate.
What's crazy is they can't, you can't even go nowhere, at the moment this is happening, because you don't know where the shot's going to be coming from. You don't know. You just getting down, trying to hide. I see why some people trying to look, because it's if this coming from over there, oh yeah, we going that way. But
top officials, including the president. A suspect has now been taken into custody, and authorities say there are no confirmed injuries so far. But the big question remains, how did this happen at one of the most secured events?
Yeah, how do you get that close to even be able to run through? That's the thing to wonder. How did he get that close to where he was able to even get in the doors? Like you can actually see the guns and stuff on him. Yeah, it's in his hand. How did he even get through anywhere? Like without shooting anybody outside to coming inside. Like how did he even make it that far?
I'm sorry, but none of this seems real. Like, at all. You've probably heard by now, a suspect armed with knives and guns tried to storm the White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight. The guy's name was Cole Allen, and he was very quickly neutralized by security. But then people online started to do a little bit of noticing. Pause to read. Yeah, I don't know about you, but it's starting to look like one big show, beginning with what Caroline Levitt said right before the start of the event.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
This, by the way, is Trump's first time attending the White House Correspondents' Dinner as president, and CNN ran this article a few hours before saying to expect the unexpected. Within an hour of the incident, Trump tweets out a video of the shooter running through the event. Even though still, for some reason, we can't get any moving pictures of Tyler Robinson. Then it turns out the shooter, Cole Allen,
I didn't see that.
NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Very interesting timing given all the UFO stories, so cue the conspiracy theorists on this one. And then there were the reactions, starting with Erica Kirk being Erica Kirk. I have to say, she looks very upset here, like way more upset than when her husband. Then we got Dana White just loving this whole thing.
It started getting noisy. Tables getting flipped over.
Barricade herself, then it stopped.
They were trying to get down. I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
Totally normal reaction to what is supposedly a presidential assassination.
Yeah, what the
most
hell?
ridiculous thing has to be maybe this coordinated influencer campaign saying this is why Trump needs a new ballroom.
I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear him say that's why we gonna need this ballroom. Like, I'm not saying this is staged, but I'm just saying
Secret Service.
It's convenient.
We looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's
what does that have to do with anything? Why are we talking about the ballroom? I am so confused. What are we doing? There's a shooting and then you talk about your ballroom? I mean, what are we doing?
I'm gonna check that out.
We have incompetent losers leading this country, incompetent morons. One who gets up there and sucks up to Donald Trump, and then Trump gets up there and talks about his personal ballroom that he's building with a bunker. And that's apparently needed because there was no security at this Hilton hotel. What is he talking about?
We looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's
the simple fact that Caroline Levitt said that there were going to be shots fired during her interview at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and there was actually shots fired at the Correspondents' Dinner, is mind-blowing as hell to me. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but baby, all hell broke loose at the White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight. When I say it was nothing but complete chaos, people were literally running for their lives. They were under tables. They was ducking, dodging, the whole nine. Now, I don't know if there was not enough security in place, which is how this happened. But I will say that when it came down to them actually knowing what was going on, they actually rushed President Trump, Melania, Vice President J.D. Vance to safety. The FBI, Secret Services, all of them, I will say that they did their thing, okay? But let me just say this. One thing that was actually heartbreaking for me is Erica Kirk. I am not a fan of Erica Kirk. Let me just say that, right? But to see her emotions and her reactions after this situation happened, you can tell that she was traumatized from seeing her husband, what happened with him on national TV, and to being in an event tonight that you should have felt 100% safe at, and this happened. That woman was absolutely traumatized. I don't give a damn how much you hate her. At this point, we have to pray for America, and we definitely have to pray for Donald Trump, because this shit is getting out of hand. The simple fact that Caroline Levitt,
how is she supposed to feel? Despite what we think about her husband was smacked at an event. Like, yeah, that would be kind of traumatizing to be there and then gunshots going off at an event you're at. Yeah.
I'm not the smartest crayon in the coloring box, right? But Donald Trump took to Truth Media after you was just evacuated and your life was supposedly in danger. Your whole cabinet, your whole staff was in danger because a man was shooting in the lobby of your correspondents' dinner that was hosted by Grindr. I'm not going to let that slide. And you have the time to post. Your team has the time to post the man that supposedly, allegedly did it. How is this man even alive still? This is one of the most highest security events in the nation or in the world. It should have been, with this man being, targeted before. And he got into the lobby to shoot, not into the ballroom.
Yeah,
How
that's
was he
what I
able
was
to do
saying.
so? Staged. I'm just gonna say it. I seen y'all talking about it in my comment section. But this man is a teacher from California. So this man risked everything he ever believed in to come over there and just shoot in the lobby. And y'all want us to believe that, baby? If we flinch too much in the car, baby, we getting offed. You see what color this man is?
Is real.
Like, so how is he alive on the floor? For you to post and your staff member to post. Like, y'all, when I say this is a fucking distraction to not talk about the war, to not.
This was crazy, right? Is how when things happen today, they just seem fake. I don't know if it's so much shit been happening, but nowadays, anytime something happens, it just seems fake. It seems staged. It don't seem real.
I talk about them Epstein files. They done pulled everything you can think of to stop us from thinking about them Epstein files. But bitch, I still want to know. I want to know who was in them. And y'all brought the war. Now y'all bringing this. Like, listen, diversion is a must in these people's eyes. They know how to control the media. This is why they bought. Okay, but y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go, baby. This is crazy. You posting about? You gotta be kidding me. Like, this is what y'all went and did instead of.
They're saying it's fake news. It's posed too low. Tell me your approval rating. It's tanking without actually telling me your approval rating is tanking. I don't know. They took him to Howard Hospital when the George Washington University Hospital was closer. Couldn't go with LGBT plus anymore. Now what? Onto something. Now onto somebody black. Wait, what?
I just want to go find. What we did see is some real deep, disturbed emotions in that room. One of whom was Erica Kirk. As I was walking out of the venue trying to figure out what happened and what we could find out as a reporter, as we're walking out, she also came out and she came right by me. It was just a few seconds, in tears, saying, "I just want to leave." Imagine her distress as she's sitting there hearing the same thing that we all heard, which was gunshots, and knowing what happened to her husband, and being.
It's wild to think about because it does kind of make everybody stand out. This little thing is like publicity for everybody that was there.
In that scenario, she looked visibly terrified as she was being escorted out. And then we saw her again once she was outside of the building, kind of being surrounded and waiting to be able to leave the area completely.
I don't know.
That outer perimeter, then the system that was set in place worked. But if that weapon got inside, outside that outer perimeter, then we've got a big problem here. And based on the reactions that we're seeing from people here, they either heard it or there was a systemic reaction that was going on based on something that hurt it, and others were reacting to
Half
that.
black,
so we
half
don't
white.
just quite know whether or not there was a breach of security. That threat was stopped where it needed to be stopped.
There's U.S.
But how did
Attorney
it even
General
get there?
updates as well on X.
That's what I don't understand. How did he even make it that far? Like, how did he get in there? Like, it wasn't no security on the outside or what? Yeah, that's why I like to think and plan ahead, like knowledge of solar panels, battery packs, filters. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's my fault for thinking that anything with this administration is ever serious. So at the White House Correspondents Dinner tonight at the Washington Hilton, a shooter got through massive amounts of security, shot 3 times. It was originally reported that he was killed at the scene. He wasn't. I guess he was just apprehended. So they have a suspect in custody. And now Donald Trump is insisting that the show go on. What would be considered by most people an assassination attempt. And Donald Trump wants the show to go on because he wants to give a speech. He wrote a speech, or somebody wrote a speech for him, and he wants everybody to hear it. And now everybody is talking about how the widow Kirk must feel just so shaken by the fact that while she is a widow of gun violence, she was also seated at a dinner tonight where there was attempted gun violence. Linda McMahon has been returned to her seat. Members of the cabinet are taking their seats back in the ballroom again, expecting that the president is in fact going to come out and give a speech. A lot of the members of the press have left. I would think any normal person who was at a dinner where there was an attempted assassination would go home. But not in this case. Trump didn't even leave. The motorcade didn't even leave the Washington Hilton. So there was this commotion going on. He sort of ducks under the table. Melania ducks under the table. He then is escorted off. He leaves Melania under the table. They do eventually come and get her and Caroline Leavitt and everybody else that was out there. And he's just been chilling in a back room. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. What I do know is nothing about this man or this administration is serious or original. And 40 years ago, nearly to the day, Ronald Reagan survived an attempted assassination at the Washington Hilton, at the very place that this event is taking place tonight. This is the night that John Hinckley missed. And now Donald Trump has apparently also had a run-in with a crazed gunman at the Washington Hilton and now wants to come out and give a speech. So, like, whatever, man. I don't know. In this room, you have Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, the vice president, the press secretary, secretary of health and human services, secretary of education, Scott Bessent, the secretary of the treasury, the secretary of state, Marco Rubio was there. You got the whole lineup. Pete Hegseth was there. And you're trying to tell me that somebody breached security with all those people in one room. And now, just like an hour later, it's okay. And we're going to have the dinner and we're going to have the speech. Like, you guys, that's crazy. You know what?
I think it's better when they play both sides of the fence, because they, going, well, this is fake, this is staged, and then the other side, everybody feeling sorry. That's how it's gonna be. It don't matter what you do. If you out there, you're gonna get both sides. That's just what it is. But it happened. They're showing it happened. If it's real, I don't know. I always ask myself, why would they go to such far lengths to stage something like this? Like, and we say, okay, the Epstein files. Maybe, but we didn't read the Epstein files. We already know everybody already know the stuff that is in there. We already know. So why would, I don't know, bro. This shit is crazy. This shit is wild. Because it don't make no sense how he even got that far in the building. Like, you can't do that. You can't get that far with that many guns at a 2 Chainz concert. At a 2 Chainz concert, you couldn't get that far with that many guns, especially holding one. When you start coming up and they see you, they gonna know there's something wrong. They're gonna be like, nah, we gotta he got on the trench coat, his coat open, he got guns hanging out, knives and shit. Hold on, bro. Like, they checking you way at the door. I don't even know how he made it in there, but let me know what y'all think about it. I'm about to get up out of here. I'm about to come right back though, because I got another video I want to do. It's like, you know, things I've been seeing. The mass deportations going on. I said that shit is crazy, bro. The mass deportations, they deporting people everywhere. Everywhere. It's like, it's not just happening in the US. Like, once you start to see, it's like, it's not just happening here. It's happening in Pakistan, in Iran, Dominican Republic, like El Salvador, Peru, South Sudan, Africa. I said, but it's way different than how we do it. I said the way they do it in these other places, oh my God, bro, they taking your shit. They just taking everything, and then they're pushing you out like with nothing. Like it's the wildest thing, bro. I said, and now that right there, it seems like a planned thing, because it's like one country do it, everybody else follow. I don't know who started, but I know they've been doing all this shit for the longest, these deportations, but in some places, it's just wild, especially in Africa, like South Africa, where they pushing out I think the Ugandans or whatever, and they like making them leave. Like it's not even the police, it's the people that live there, and it's like, that shit is wild. I said, man, if that was like that here, you know how wild it would be if like people, just your neighbors, was out on the street, going to people's houses, going to people's businesses and shutting their shit down and pushing them out the country. That would be crazy. And it's happening though. Not here, but in a lot of other places it's happening. So yeah, I'm gonna drop that next. I'm gonna do that next. See, you think this one is legitimate? Woken like see the whole, what he say, but the wholeheartedly believe the time he got shot in the ear was definitely a fake. You think so? You think that one was fake? If that one was fake, this one would definitely be fake. Because I still don't understand. And he wasn't shot. The dude wasn't shot at all. Like he pulled the trigger and he wasn't shot. I don't know if that was because it was a lot of people there, and if they would have just started unloading, bullets would have went everywhere, could have hit anybody. That's probably a good reason, because it was a lot of people there. It was a lot of people in that hallway. It was like as he was getting arrested. But I want to see the video, bro. I got to see the video of him getting arrested. That's what I have to see. And I got to see that, because they just had him and he didn't have no shirt. They took everything from him, and like he didn't get shot or none of that. He shot somebody and didn't get shot. Like homegirl was saying, you can have your hands on the steering wheel and you can move. They can tell you, hey, go in your glove box and get your registration. And you can, dude did that. He reached in the glove box to get the registration, and they shot him in front of his family in the car. So I'm like going, I don't know. And I know it's different kind of police or different kind of officers or whatever, but at the same time, a lot of people just got shot just for moving. A lot of people got shot just for brandishing or having a gun. So like that part too right there is killing me, because when he came through, he bust on dude, and dude went like that, and it was like only like four shots went off after that, and none of them hit him though. None of them hit him. I don't know how they caught him, how they got him, but I mean, they ain't showed that yet. I can't wait to see that video, because I know it's about to come out soon, of the fact of them tackling him, because somebody would have had to tackle him and fight for the gun. And if that was the case, that was another reason why they didn't keep on busting on him. But usually, they going to bust you till you down. They not going to just let you just run past with no gun. Secret Service and shoot one of them and then keep running. And then even when they catch you, you not like all beat up or none of that. I don't know. That was a good job. He's not beat up, he don't got no swollen face. No, he wasn't bleeding, nothing. He was not hit. He was not even, nothing happened to him. He just looked good. You feel me? I'm like going, I don't know. We got to wave up the report. But But okay, yeah, I'm gonna tap out, y'all, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks for watching. Make sure